Hey, what's up everyone, it's finally here, Figma number 203, the awesome Mikasa Akerman from the hit anime and manga Shingeki no Kyojin, Attack on Titan. I've definitely been waiting for this one. So this is another box with a new simplistic color scheme, this time in black and a reddish brown, with pictures of the figure on the sides of the box. Just from a quick glimpse in the window in the front of the box, and I can already tell this will be awesome. There's some pictures there on the back of the box, and this will give you a good idea of just how awesome this figure is going to be. I have not one, but two of these awesome Figmas, one for me and one for you, as I'll be having my first ever giveaway in the next couple of days, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. Now let's open this up and see what we've got inside. The DI stage pullout section is in a matching color to the box, but after Figma 199 it's only one solid color and doesn't feature any symbols or branding like before. Inside the inner packaging we can see the figure itself, two alternate faces, a collar, effect parts, and the three-dimensional maneuver gear. And just down here are the pair of blades. In the back section of packaging there's the wire anchors, a smoke trail, and the cervic core mantle. Taking the figure itself out now, and so far so good, this looks great. Also inside the box is the bag for storing parts, as well as the stand, the base, and a rack of 8 hands. We have a small plastic bag with 2 clear hooks on strings, an information sheet listing the included accessories. Open that up and inside there's the instructions on taking off the scarf, putting on the mantle, and changing the hands. Opening that up again one more time and there's the instructions on how to attach the 3D maneuver gear, the wire anchors, the clear hooks, the smoke, and the blades. So this is the figure right out of the box and it looks great. The sculpt and the color on the costume looks perfect. The cervic core logo on the front and back of the jacket look amazing. There's harness straps on the torso and legs, and the boots look great too. Max Factory's paintwork is awesome as always. The colors are spot on, and that matte paint looks great as always. Moving in for a close-up on the head, and the details on the face look great. Even though the default face is very plain, the details are sharp and clear. The sculpt of the hair is well executed as well. Moving on to the accessories, and here's Mikasa with all of her accessories laid out. As well as the default expression you've seen already, there's also 2 alternate expressions, also a rack of 8 alternate hands, as well as the default fist. Then there's 2 blades, effect parts for the wire anchors, a collar, the cervic core mantle, as well as a clear peg to hold it on, the wire anchors, some black string and 2 clear hooks, an extra hand joint, 2 clear parts, the smoke trail, and the 3D maneuver gear. On the rack of hands we have an open pair of hands with the fingers spread, an open palmed pair of hands with the fingers together, a pair of hands for holding stuff in general, and the hands for holding the blades. These are the new style hands like the ones that came with Miku 2.0. On the left here are Mikasa's hands, and on the right are a set of older style Figma hands. You can see that these hands are different than the older style as they have no part for attaching them to the figure and instead use this separate joint part. Changing hands is very simple, you just pull off the hand and pop on whatever one you want, like this, simple. The general holding hands I mentioned earlier can be used to hold other Figma's accessories like this. As well as the default normal expression, there's also an expression with clenched teeth and an open mouth battle cry face. Replacing the face is just as simple as the hands. You just remove the front of the hair, pull off the face, pop on the expression you want, and then just stick the hair back on. The cervic core mantle looks great, the symbol looks awesome and is incredibly clear. It's also made out of a soft, flexible plastic. It attaches to Mikasa's back via this clear section here and this clear pin. To attach the mantle you just pull off the head, pop on the mantle, line up those 2 holes, and just stick the stand in there. Then you just pop the head back on. The 2 blades look great as well. The blades can be removed from the handle just by pulling them out like that. To attach to the figure, you just slide it into the hand and try and line up the 2 fingers with the holes. Next is the smoke trail part, which is a small connection part at the end here. It connects to the stand at the end of the smoke trail and attaches to the figure here by popping off this little circular part and just slotting it in there. Next up are the wire anchors themselves, which attach into the 3D gear like this. Next are these awesome looking little effect parts for the wire anchors, which just attach to the 3D maneuver gear at the base of the wires. To attach this little collar part, you just remove the head and it just attaches on like this, simple. Also included is this coil of black string and these 2 plastic hooks. These can be hooked onto stuff to hang Mikasa off things, giving the impression that she's attached to it by the wire anchors. like off a blind, outside, or wherever else you want to. Limitless possibilities. You can also remove the hook section and replace it with this clear part, which is the same diameter as a standard Figma stand attachment point, and that can be attached into the backs of other Figma, among other things. Last on the list of accessories is a 3D maneuver gear itself, which consists of this part which attaches to Mikasa's waist, and attached by these flexible straps are the sections with the blades and the gas tanks. The spare blades sticking out here, sadly they can't be removed. To equip the 3D gear, attach this part onto the lower hole on the back, and these parts attach onto the sides of the legs, like this. There's so much detail on these, they look absolutely fantastic. This Figma was bought from the Good Smile Company's online store, so it came with the exclusive DI stage which you can see here. And if you're a fan of Attack on Titan, I'm sure you'll recognize this roof pattern. This pretty much does the same job as the standard Figma base, and can be used with the normal Figma stand. So that's it for the accessories, now let's see Mikasa using them in some poses. Now it's time to check out the articulation. The head all the way down, the head all the way up, the arm all the way up. It can go around a full 360 degrees. The bend at the elbow. A good range of movement here at the wrist. Movement at the waist, side to side, and crunching to the front and moving to the back. A little bit of wiggle here at the waist. The legs all the way out, so she can do the splits all the way up to the front, all the way to the back. The movement at the knee, pretty good range of movement there. At the ankle here, all the way up and all the way down, and a little bit of a bend here at the toe as well, so that's cool. And there's also a little bit of side to side movement there. So moving on to quality, and as always with a Good Smile or Max Factory release, the quality is fantastic. The jacket is made from this awesome soft flexible material, and so is this section down here below the belt, and that can move around quite a bit so it doesn't really affect the range of motion of the legs. The wings of freedom on the back of the jacket are incredibly clear and look great. The paint on this plate down here is a bit patchy, but that's no real big deal as it's often covered up by the 3D gear. There's some great detail on this figure as I've mentioned earlier, like the straps on the legs and torso and the logos on the jacket. And the final point I'll mention is that most Figma share the same joints, so a lot of the parts are interchangeable. So you can turn your favorite characters into Survey Corps members just by switching their heads with Mikasa's. But just a word of warning, Miku 2.0 has a different neck joint than the standard one, so be careful. I've permanently decapitated mine. So that's it for my review of the Figma Mikasa by Max Factory and Good Smile Company. An amazing figure to say the least. It looks great, has an awesome set of accessories. You can really tell they went all out for this one. The articulation is as amazing as ever for a Figma, and the quality is top notch as usual. What else can I say? This is an amazing figure, and if you're an Attack on Titan fan, I recommend you get your hands on one as soon as possible. Don't forget I'll be giving away one of these awesome figures, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. And of course, make sure to come back again for the Figma Eren, the Figma Levi, and the Winter Wonder Festival exclusive Figma Armin, as well as some coverage of the Winter Wonder Festival event itself, which I'll be at on Sunday. Thanks for watching.